please explain what last night they slept while we were on a meeting at DA. They slept, we finished the meeting while they were sleeping. Again, when Honorable came here, she was sleeping during the meeting. Then they left early to sleep. Chair, please attend to the sleeping.
Okay. So we have 8 members who want to ask follow-up questions. Less than 3 minutes each. There is nobody who goes beyond 3 minutes, and honorable members, it is not debatable. And you know when a player remonstrates with the referee after the whistle has been blown, you are inviting a yellow card to yourself. Honorable Matthews.
Start again, Chair. Thank you. Are we starting again? Thank you. Lieutenant General, what informs the security threat? And you know we were not going to let this go about the EFF, the amount of money that was allocated to a protest, which is covered in the Constitution. Every citizen, any political party, any movement has a right to protest. So for you to agree to this amount of money to be allocated, what was the security threat and what was it based on? Because EFF, we've been in existence since 2013. Never ever has there been any criminality, and we are an organization in the streets all the time. So it can't be that so much money can be allocated to a peaceful organization that has been in the streets protesting against an ANC government who kills workers for protesting for a living wage, against the ANC government who kills children because they cannot even provide pit toilets, or they cannot provide proper toilets, and our children are being killed in school. So please talk to us about that.
Chair, on paragraph 8 of my statement, I indicated that while I oversee financial operations, it is crucial to understand that my role does not extend to operational decisions. There are those that are responsible for operations in the organization.
Okay.
There are those that are responsible.
I'm being sabotaged by the GNU now.
Just a moment, Honorable Matthews, may you please have your microphone on?
Okay.
And I'm reminding you for the last time, I'm not going to compensate any time that is lost when the microphone is.
The committee can't provide proper resources. No, you answered that question, CFO. I'm asking something specific. I'm saying when it comes to you, what do you need to know before you make a decision that this is a reasonable amount, not getting involved in operations? 470 million rand for a one-day protest, peaceful organization.
There is an operational plan that would have been crafted taking into account.
No.
I would have a request in front of me to say there is an operation that is taking place. It requires support at this particular level. And I have got no reason not to trust what would have informed those operational decisions.
Then CFO, it's like you're the bookkeeper, because you're not asking hard questions. So you just get a report and then you just pay. I also just want to talk quickly about proof of payments, right? There was a concern that there was proof of payments that were generated from your office, right? And then we had individuals who were not SAPS members that were using these POPs to approach service providers. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware, and I believe, I do have faith in my office that the members working in my office.
So there was no proof of payment
done. I have heard during consultation that there was a brigadier that would have engaged in that exercise, and I can confirm that that brigadier does not work in my office.
So how would they have gotten the POP?
Sorry?
How would they have gotten the POP?
I have got no idea. The
But it's from your office. Are you still investigating?
The brigadier is not in my office. This is a part and parcel of the ongoing investigation.
Okay. Hey, okay, it feels like we have gotten into the same vibe as Lieutenant General Fani with don't know and not responsible. But thank you, CFO.
You still had 1 minute left. Are you done? Okay. Next, Honorable Number.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. General, not in the context of the Medicare contract, but generally, when the two scenarios coexist, irregular appointment, poor services, can there be value for money?
If there is an indication to say there is poor service, as I indicated, and those that would have requested these services and would have attested to say they have received the service in the correct quantity and time. And
Can hear you properly.
I'm saying the certification of the services that were provided is done by those that would have requested these services in terms of the end user. If they certify that I requested this service, I have received this particular service, and they then certify and they upload these invoices in the system. If it is found that they did these certifications incorrectly and they participated in unethical conduct.
Yeah, no. All that process has been satisfied, and the determination that has been made is that the service was poor. Poor service, irregular appointment, can there be value for money? Please don't explain the process because I've got limited time.
Irregular expenditure is expenditure incurred in contravention to supply chain processes. The service provider renders the service. The end user certifies that the service was rendered. They upload the invoices. I'm saying, if that certification was fraudulent, we need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah,
That is what I'm saying.
But I'm not getting a direct response. I mean, a determination has been made that the service was poor.
The determination test confirmed that this contract was awarded in contravention with supply chain processes and thereby making it irregular, an irregular award.
Okay, then the EFF national shutdown took 1 day. The July unrest took almost a month, if my memory serves me well. And the amount spent in the July unrest was 900 and something million. So my mathematics is failing me in that regard. Does that make sense that a shutdown that took 1 day cost 400 and something million, and the unrest, which took almost a month, cost 900 and something million? Maybe there's something wrong with my mix.
These are the cost of public order duties that we perform in this country. So these are some of the, sometimes we call them diversions. Resources are diverted to go deal with such public order.
No, but maybe my question is the duration not impactful? The duration of the service, or the duration of the, in this context, of the national shutdown, does it not have an impact that this one was 1 day and therefore the cost can't reach a certain amount?
Chair, I rely on the operational environments. They would have applied their minds, they would have done a threat assessment, and they would have come to a conclusion to say the security plan must be executed in this fashion, and it must be supported with this kind of resources.
So it makes sense to you, CFO, that the shutdown, the national shutdown of the EFF cost 400 and something million, and it took only 1 day, whereas the July unrest took almost a month, but it cost 900 and something million. So that makes sense according to.
Chair, as I indicated, the operational environments will be best suited to deal with this. The July unrest, my understanding would be, it was more prevalent in a bit of more than one province, and you needed to then support those provinces with additional manpower in this regard. And when you then deploy additional...
May you please stop speaking. Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. CFO, do you still remember, you know, why we are so inquisitive about this matter? Do you still remember that we had an issue with PPEs? Do you still remember that?
Yes.
We had an irregular expenditure of 1.6 billion at SARS. Do you remember that?
There was an issue on PPEs, Chair.
CFO, I'm putting figures. 1.6 billion irregular expenditure, which was found at South African Police Service. Do you agree with me on that?
Chair, I cannot recall the figure from the top of my head, but I do know that there was an issue of irregular expenditure surrounding the PPEs.
And do you still remember that there were some verbal approvals of millions of rands during the COVID period? Do you remember that?
Verbal approvals from who, Chair?
I'm talking about, I'm talking about SAPS here. And remember, we are the CFO. Now, I'm saying all these monies which were paid, I don't want to name companies because it would be like I'm starting afresh. I'm just saying to you that our concern as members of of the taxpayers' money, it's not something personal. Hence, I'm reminding you that is not the first time. It's not only about this Kate Matlala's tender, which invokes all what I'm talking about now, to say, under your watch, there was this issue of PPEs, which it was found by the AG, no, not me, that it was irregular. So what I'm asking you, do you agree? And I said to you that the issue as well was that some of these tenders, there was verbal agreement.
Chair, at the time
Verbal
of
approvals.
procurement surrounding the PPEs, I did not participate in those committees, as I have indicated, Chair. I have indicated that there is a culture in the organization that we must deal with to ensure that there's real consequences so that it serves as a deterrent. But during the era where procurement was made in terms of PPEs, I did not serve in any of the structure that
No, I understand that.
anyone verbal authorization and so on
I
and so
understand
on.
that, CFO.
My chair is that investigations have been made and there have been relevant reportings. I did not participate and I did not give
but CFO,
anyone verbal authorization in this.
but CFO, have you paid for all those invoices? Who paid the invoices?
The invoices, as I indicated, there's a policy that governs the payment of service providers. At the end, if the end user has certified that I've received services and they load those invoices, we then, at the end of the value chain, it is my office that will then release those
CFO,
payments.
with due respect, at the end of the day, if you are not concerned about what I'm talking about, you are going to pay invoices which people did not even work for. Ghost, what they call them, ghost invoices, because of what they send to you. If you don't satisfy yourself that those invoices are proper.
Chair, SAPS is a national department. It has a policy, and that policy provides for necessary safeguards.
Yeah, but wait, CFO, let me end by saying to you.
All of you is now me speaking. Next, Honorable Sango.
The benevolent is gone. The benevolent is gone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. CFO, you know, you've really spent a lot of time explaining to us the reporting lines, explaining to us the policies. We get it. We honestly get it. And I want to repeat what I said to you, that we're not trying to get you. Ne? But why is it that when it comes to areas that you should be accountable for, and I was looking at your statement where you list your responsibilities, and this is what I'm following up on. on the national shutdown, you don't know, it's operational decisions. What role do you play except for just signing off the money on the issue of procurement? You don't know, it's somebody else. So what you do is sign off the money. Is the money safe then, CFO, if you don't apply?
It is very safe.
Can I finish,
Chair.
CFO, if you don't mind? Sorry. So that's the question, and I don't want to come back again. I want for you to just clarify on the issue that Honorable Shongwe was raising on overtime. You approved 1st of April to July 25, 13.2 million rand for overtime for a period of 3 months, right?
For this year.
For the PKTT for 3 months. Whereas in 2024, 25, 2022, 23, the entire annual expenditure was 13 million in 2024, 25, 15 million in 2023, 24 for the year. But you approved 13 million for 3 months. Can you just take us through the thinking on that? Those are my only 2 questions. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I do not approve. I am requested to
Sorry,
confirm.
you recommended. Can
I
you
am
tell us
comfort that the SAPS funding is safe. To this end, we have not incurred any unauthorized expenditure. There are necessary safeguards. The problem comes in when individual officials go out of their way to then override controls and engage themselves in a wrong behavior. When we pick up that there is deliberate override of controls, of course, we do take the necessary steps in this regard.
Sorry, DDG. So are you saying to us your only responsibility is to say, yes, there's money, no, there's no money? The DDG, sorry, Lieutenant General, you don't apply yourself beyond the fact that there's money, there's no money?
I do, Chair. That is why I would raise those concerns with the line managers. That is why I will have conversations with the National Commissioner. That is why during executive meetings of BOC, I would raise this and point out the cost pressures so that management can take note. That is why we would have a cost containment policy. That is why we would have internal controls that we put in place. I do not just rubber stamp in this particular regard. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. In future, please, man, make sure that you fund MK disturbance as much as you fund EFF disturbance. Now they're fighting here, wanting to know why you funded these ones small when you funded those ones big. Thank you.
I still stand by that commitment that the meeting must happen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, honorable members, we have the last 4 speakers. Honorable Mwango.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Mine actually has to do with the 360 million rand tender. The first question is that when the General actually, in fact, in her testimony, she said that as CFO, she only comes into the picture at the last leg of the process of the tender to do payment. But now the people who actually initiate this tender process, do they actually consult you whether there is still money in the kitty for them to do what they want to do? Number 2, I am actually not very happy with the standard procedure with which you actually do business with out there. I don't think that you actually do due diligence in terms of actually knowing and investigating the background check. You do a background check of the people or potential people you want to do business with. Because otherwise, Mr. Matala would not have actually won this tender if the police were actually doing due diligence in terms of background check. You know, right now you ended up with egg on your face because Mr. Matlala is here. He's a resident of this institution because he's a criminal. But the police went all the way out to actually grant him a tender for 360 million rand. How are you going to defend yourself when people start saying the police actually is captured by criminals because they are benefiting tenders from you?
Okay. Chair, if I may start with the first question. Annually, after we receive our annual allocation from National Treasury, we then embark on a process where we will then do what we call an internal apportioning, where we will distribute through an approved methodology allocation of budgets to provinces, to divisions in this particular regard. And the Health Risk Manager Services is a service that is there in subsidies budgeted for. I think annually the budget is around 120 million in this particular regard. When it comes to the issues of checking background, I heard from the evidence that was led by General Fani to say the process needs improvement. In terms of this particular contract, the background check was not done, and it's something that should be a lesson that should be incorporated and improved in our processes to say this must be a must.